Chào mừng quý vị quay trở lại với phần cuối cùng của chương trình Đồng, tiền, thông, minh ngày hôm nay. Và trong phần này, chúng tôi mời quý vị cùng tìm hiểu về một chương trình dạy tiếng Anh mới dành cho người đang đi làm, qua phần chia sẻ của ông Khalid Muhmood, là sáng lập viên của Trung tâm Anh ngữ Apollo. Mời quý vị cùng theo dõi đoạn phỏng vấn sau đây. Thank you so much.
Hi, good to see you.
Good to have you. So Apollo just launched a new program for adults called Apollo 360.
Yes.
With the new study methods called flip, right?
That's right.
Could you tell us more about it?
Yeah, I think let's start first of all with the reason, the motivation. Basically, we identified that for people learning English aged 17 upwards, their biggest worry is employment. They want English for their career. So we decided to focus for about 1 year and a half. We've been developing a solution for how to help people aged 17 upwards develop their English for their career. We've come up with a 360 approach. The 360 approach means it's all about the student. We surround the student. We surround the student with so many opportunities to develop their English. They have small class sizes, 8 people. 8 people.
Only 8 people.
Only eight people with a fully qualified native speaker teacher, foreigner. So you have 8 people with 1 teacher. You also have a Connect Club. With Apollo, we train many companies in Vietnam, Prudential, ANZ Bank, even the American Embassy.
Okay.
So we train a lot of organizations. So by the Connect Club, we can basically pull a lot of the people together, all in English. We also have seminars and events, and we have a brilliant online platform. So we surround the student. They've got so much more than just the learning in class. So that's the 360 approach. Flip methodology, that's something that has been growing around the world for the past few years. It started with a guy called Khan, actually, who developed the Khan Academy. The principle behind it is really very simple. Instead of coming to class, normally a student will come to class. They will learn vocab or grammar terms. Yeah. They will learn that in class. Then they will go home and practice it. With Flip, it's done the other way around. Before the lesson, the student learns the vocab. They learn it online. By themselves. They learn the vocab, they'll learn the key terms before the lesson. When they come to the lesson, and remember there's only 8 people, maximum 8 people, and the teacher, the lesson's all about putting it into practice. So your confidence, your speed of learning is a lot faster compared to the traditional method. And the only provider in Vietnam using the 360 approach and the Flip methodology, it's us. It's already being done around the world, but we're now bringing it to Vietnam.
But for the Vietnamese students who so get used to the traditional learning, is this hard for them to change?
Great question. I actually think the older students might at the beginning find it a bit strange. For example, even the online, even the online component might be a bit strange. But, you know, look at my parents. When I gave my parents the first phone, smartphone, you know, they were there thinking, what's this? Now, they never put it down. So I think that the young people, 17 to 30 years old, 35 years old, it will be no problem for them. People above 35, it might take a little bit of time adjusting, but not that long. And once they get it, they'll love it.
How about the teachers? How can you prepare a good teacher for this program?
We have to do a training for our teachers because it's a very different skill. In the normal class, you're there, you're the teacher, you're the source of knowledge.
You do all the talking.
You're doing all the talking. This is completely different. This is making your students do the work. You're checking, observing, practicing, driving the practicing. The role of the teacher is very different. We also have a team of study managers who manage. Each study manager is responsible. Each student will have a study manager who can manage their progress during the whole program, working closely with the teacher. On the teaching side, it needs a lot of training.
So what seems to be the typical weakness of Vietnamese students when it comes to learning English?
For me, in terms of English for their career, the biggest weakness by far is confidence. By far, It's confidence. That's why in this program you get a lot of time practicing, because when they can practice with the foreigner, it gets their confidence up. So when they go for an interview, when they go for their job interview, and they're sitting opposite someone having to communicate in English, they don't freeze. They don't sweat. It could be if they're doing business. If they're doing business overseas, they don't freeze. They don't worry. They can actually communicate in English. So for me, the biggest thing, if you said, what's the biggest thing lacking? I'd say it's confidence.
And this it's a barrier in speaking and listening as well too, right? With the confidence, if you have a low level of confidence.
It hammers. If you have a lower level of confidence, your speaking and listening skills, even if they're okay, without that confidence, you're going to perform you're not going to do yourself justice. Look, I love football, and you see, well, look what happens to a really good footballer when they lose confidence. Even they're a great footballer, but when they lose confidence, they don't perform as to their normal standard. It's the same with English. Someone can come and they can learn and practice and practice and practice, but unless they have that confidence, they're not going to perform to the standard that they really can. So that's our focus. If you tell me what's the key focus, it's we improve, it's English for the career, but we really make a big difference by improving it through confidence.
So this is the program for adults and for them to improve their chance in getting a good job and improve their career. Do you offer any opportunities, besides classroom, any opportunities to participate in any seminars or talking to the real people or, the real work-life experience?
So part of the 360 approach is a lot of the people you've had on your show actually will be coming and giving seminars to our students in specific areas. For example, one person will be coming talking about CVs, preparing your CVs. Another person will be coming about how to map out your career. Another person will be talking about how to get your first job.
And that's pretty practical.
Very, very practical, and all done in English. So the motivation for our students is you learn English and then you come to these seminars and you're not just getting practical know-how, you're also improving your English. So the seminars are quite different. They're organized every week. Every single week a student will be able to come to a seminar. It's optional, but it gives that student the extra practice.
A lot of working adults told me that they don't even have time to learn English. Is that a problem for you?
It was, but it isn't now. They need to find 3 hours a week.
Only 3 hours a
week. Only 3 hours in one, and once a week. That means they need to come to our centre for face-to-face 3 hours. Everything else, there's other things, some things are optional, and some things that can be done at home. But they need, to make progress, they need to come for 3 hours once a week. So if someone's too busy to do that, then I give up.
So this is like a self-learning responsibility. So what is the biggest difference between what you offer to corporate clients and what you offer to the public?
Well, today the biggest difference by far is that when we work with companies, we really focus on what their staff need to improve them for their careers. Whereas when we work with the public, up till now, it's been quite general. For example, general English courses or business English courses. It's not career focused. Whereas now, with our new program, with Apollo 360, the whole focus, everything we've been doing with the companies, we're now offering to the public. So we've got experience. It's a new program, but it's one that we've already been doing with, like I mentioned, ANZ Bank, Prudential, Coca-Cola. So we've already been doing our program within these great companies, and now it's available for the public.
So how can you make sure that your program curriculums are relevant with what's going on in the business world right now?
Well, I think in a number of different ways. The first way is we've got 20 years experience in Vietnam. We're part of a group called International House, which is in 50 countries around the world. So we're part of International House, which is a worldwide English teaching organization. Also, a key part, we are the leading corporate training provider in Vietnam. That keeps us in touch with the market. Many people know about Apollo. Today, they know about Apollo as for children. I hope going forward, They'll know us for children, but people will also see the work we're doing with companies and with the young adults.
Yeah. I see the English training for working adults segment right now is getting more competitive with a lot of global brands that's entering the Vietnam's market.
Yep.
How can you differentiate yourself? How can you stay ahead?
Actually, if you tell me the let's say 3 key strands of how we're different, is the first one is the 360 approach. No one's doing that. Everyone's still got, I call it a fairly traditional way of learning. We've got the 360-degree approach. We also have the flip methodology, which is proven. It's proven. If you go to Google and type, flip learning, it's proven to be much more faster, much more effective than traditional learning. And the other organizations that are not doing it the traditional way, they're doing it where, 95% of the course is online. You can't learn. To improve your confidence, you can learn, but you can't improve your confidence just working online. You need a strong face-to-face component. So that's where I feel, what makes us different is 360 approach, the flip learning, and we've got the balance right between technology and face-to-face. We've got the balance right. I know there's lots of providers around the world that they tell you they're going to improve your English 100% online or even 90% online. It's difficult.
Yeah,
it's difficult.
We see that a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing and good luck with your program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thưa quý vị, vừa rồi là những chia sẻ của anh Khalid Muhmood, là đồng sáng lập của trung tâm Anh ngữ Apollo English. Chương trình đến đây là xin được phép tạm dừng lại. Một lần nữa cảm ơn quý vị và các bạn đã quan tâm theo dõi. Quý vị có thể xem lại đoạn phỏng vấn này trên trang web của kênh FBNC tại địa chỉ fbnc.vn. Chúng tôi sẽ gặp lại quý vị trong những chương trình kỳ sau.